Hi, I'm Kendall Maynard.
I'm Lola Winters,
and this is the Glow and Grow podcast.
We're talking about boys.
And how you don't need them.
At all. Me and Kendall, out of, I think, all of the girls, or maybe just because we've connected, a lot, we've gone through
a lot of good, bad, ugly, with boys, social media, off social media, and I feel like this is a really good topic to start with. I'll start a little bit with my story. I'm going to try and keep it kind of vague with details, but basically, I know a lot of people, if you follow me, know that I've had some situation with boys. I'm very known for always having some little love life things going on, and I feel like I've put myself in a lot of situations that have allowed me to get hurt when I didn't need to. And I feel like I have been a pushover in some situations. I've had a lot of trust issues come from some situations. And I feel like a lot of that stemmed from being in a really insecure place and feeling like I needed that validation when I shouldn't have. And really overall, it has taken a toll, and I know I talk about boy drama, and I'm like, oh, it's so funny, it's so this, it's so that, but I feel like I've made so many mistakes with trusting certain people, or just putting myself in situations that I wish I wouldn't have, and I feel like that's very overlooked on social media, and I just want people to know that if you feel like you need that male validation, it's genuinely not worth it.
I feel the exact same way. When I was in my first real relationship, I was in for about a year and a half, and after that I was just kind of all over the place with men, and I don't know, I just thought that everything was going to be the exact same how it was with my past relationship, and men will take advantage of you, and they're really, really good at manipulating and lying, and that's where trust issues came in, because again, my first real relationship, it was good and it was healthy and we trusted each other and everything. And then my next relationship came, but I mean, it was more of a situationship. I don't know, but I thought that he was going to be the exact same, trustworthy. He wasn't, and I didn't know that because he was lying to me and stuff, but that's all I ever knew was being told the truth. And so then I just kind of got took advantage of, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kept I'm really good at forgiving and forgetting. And I did that about 4 times with the same guy, and it just got progressively worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that, it happened the exact same situation with another guy. It was almost worse. I would be on the phone bawling my eyes out because I heard all of these rumors, but he was like, oh, they're just rumors. It comes in relationships. And that is true. Rumors do come in relationships, but it would come to the point where there would be 30 people telling me the exact same situation. So it's okay, this is clearly not a rumor.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would still just be lying to my face, and you just have to cut it off at some point and know that you're worth so much more, and that your husband will not make you feel that way.
Exactly. And I feel like a lot of things with relationships on social media aren't always portrayed how they are. I know I had a very public relationship for 2 years, and this is a really touchy topic for me because I will say relationships being toxic goes both ways, and I know I really portrayed that relationship as if we were the happiest couple in the entire world, and that was some of the hardest years of my life. It was not a healthy relationship. On the days where I would post happy content, we probably got into some of the biggest fights imaginable, and it really was a dark time being in that. I know my breakup was very, very public. Me crying got 5 million views, 3 million likes. That whole time for me was very public, and I tried my best to be open, but at the same time, there's not a lot I can say about it, and there's a lot I wish never happened on both sides. And I think when you're young, you make those mistakes of being young and in love and not knowing what love is, not knowing right and wrong, and you put so much on the line for someone at a young age, and you grow with them, and it's really hard. And on social media, you want everyone to think it's so good, but honestly, there's so much off of social media no one has any idea about. And I feel like a lot of people overlook that and think everything is perfect all the time, and it's not. And I'm sure you can relate to that with what you just talked about.
Yes. And what we're basically trying to say with all of this is you do not need men to be happy. Like,
Mm-mm.
we are both the happiest that we've ever been now. Well, I have a boyfriend currently, but like, I I don't need him.
Genuinely.
Like, genuinely, like, I love him to death, but like, I would be okay without him. And you need to love, like, you need to learn to love yourself and know your worth and know who you are. And your friends and family can mean so much more, because you won't have to be stressing over men. You won't have to be crying over them. Like, there's so many good things that come into relationships, but there's so many like bad things. And like, for your mental health and your like stability, like, you just need to learn that you are better off. You can definitely be better off alone.
And if you're with a guy and it is genuinely affecting relationships outside of your relationship, it's probably not good. I remember those 2 years. I was so isolated, and not even saying that was anyone's fault. I just remember putting everything on the line for that one person. I lost all my friends. I felt like I only had him. It got in the way of my family. It got in the way of my friendships, and that's nothing against that person. That was not that person at all. That was me being in love with someone and thinking he was my everything, and he was the only thing that I needed to have. And so leaving that relationship, I thought that was kind of the same way with every guy. So like, every guy I would talk to, I think like, oh, they were my everything, and like, they were what I had to prioritize. And I learned the hard way that not everyone is trustworthy, and not everyone is worth your time and attention, and it shouldn't affect your relationships outside of that boy.
Yeah, I feel like also, like, during your teenage years and high school and middle school experiences, you're so like boy focused, and you're like, oh, he's my new crush, oh, he's my new boyfriend, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that. Like, you need to stay like centered and grounded and true to who you are, and just not worry about men. Like, they're so overrated.
There's so much life outside of boys.
Yeah, and I feel like people are so like, I need the boyfriend, I need this, I need that, and you don't. You really don't.
Genuinely, no man should change the trajectory of where you want to head in life. If you have a goal in mind, if you have a lifestyle that you want for yourself, and someone is affecting that, that's not your person.
Yeah. You just have to learn who you are and wait for the right person to come.
And it's so hard. Literally, I keep saying young and in love, but it's so hard being young and in love, thinking that's all you have. But you need to think like, that man is going to be the father of your kids. That man is going to marry you one day, and it is better to admit that you walked into the wrong classroom and the wrong door than to stay in one forever and get the wrong major. That's the analogy that I like to use. It's better to admit that you made a mistake, loved the wrong person, than growing old with them and realizing you really messed up. And I feel like a way to get out of that toxic cycle of boys and relying on them and validation is to learn to love yourself. And that's genuinely what we have learned, I feel like, over the past year a lot, or even the past few months. Like, self-love is something I've learned so much in the last, like, 2 months.
And there's, like, a lot of things that you can do to, like, help love yourself. Like, well, I feel like really important things are having a really good, like, support group, because if there's people that are, like, tearing you down but building you up at the same time, like, they're not, like, real friends. And, like, not to get into the friend topic, but you need a good support system to help you love yourself, because you can't love other people until you love yourself.
Exactly. And I've learned being alone is okay. And it's hard to say, like, just love yourself. It's taken me so long to learn that it's okay to be alone, and it was such a long process of me being so sad and so lonely, and it genuinely was hard, like, to get out of the cycle of guys and feeling like I needed them constantly, and just feeling that, like, aloneness. But once I got out of that hardship and that state of realizing that I am okay alone, it was so worth it. Like, it sounds so scary to go into that headspace of being alone and dealing with those thoughts and really processing everything. But once you come out on the other side, after you get that support system, you are going to be so happy and so free, and it is so worth it. even though it's so hard.
Yeah. And you might think that you're alone, but you're really not, because
You're never
people
alone.
think, oh, I'm alone because I don't have a boyfriend. But again, you have your friends, you have your family, you have so many people that love you that you may not even like, I have friends that I'm not close to anymore, but I know that they still love me. And just because you're not close to somebody doesn't mean that they don't care for you and they don't love you. And if you are ever in that space where you're like, okay, I feel like I have nobody, you always have people.
Exactly. And that is really something that we want to focus on with this podcast. Like, if you're feeling alone and any of the things we talked about, that's what we're here for. That's what we are here to show you, that, like, we are just like you guys. We are teenage girls.
Same thing.
We've been through so much boy drama. We have been through so many cycles of loving yourself, not loving yourself. And you are not alone in any of this, even if you feel like you don't have the support group. Like, we are girls supporting girls.
Yeah.
We just want everyone to love themselves. And that is something that we are going to focus on. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything we have to say for now. We're going to wrap this one up. I think this is something that's been heavy on our hearts for a long time, and we're so glad we got to share it with you guys.
And let us know what other kind of podcasts you guys want to see.
Literally, there's so much to come, and we can't wait to see where this podcast takes us, and we're just super excited.
Yes.
So,
Bye,
thanks for
guys.
watching. Bye.